purpose of the First Amendment, in part, is so people power cannot be used to force an individual or a minority, not a racial minority, but a minority, from expressing his or herself. Is that a fair?
Yes, Senator, it sounds relatively fair.
Here's my question. In today's world, who do you think has more power? The state of Louisiana or Google?
It would depend on the definition of power, but from
I would bet Google.
it is a
I'm not
very
trying to
large
trick
company.
you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Does it make any sense to you that the state of Louisiana, that people are protected against the state of Louisiana? They should be. I'm not disagreeing on the basis of the First Amendment, but Google can do whatever the heck it wants to.
As a private enterprise, it is not afforded the same, people are not afforded the same protections from the First Amendment from Google as Louisiana.
Yeah, but
Yes.
in today's world, should we, is the distinction between government and private actors, does it make any sense anymore? Shouldn't the distinction be, this is really a question, between government and private entities, depending on how much power they have?
To get down to the root of the question, yes, I do think as companies become larger, become more powerful and more spread, there's the opportunity for them to exercise a lot more impression and control over the public. Whether or not the legislature should act and potentially put rules in, that would be something outside the confines of a judicial nominee, and I wouldn't comment on that.
But see, I'm not sure we could act, because if we tried to say Google has as much power as the federal government, I don't mean to just pick on Google, but let's substitute artificial intelligence, which is in its infancy, but it's clear that it's going to be powerful. And I think artificial intelligence has great potential to make our lives better if it doesn't kill us first. But it is going to be powerful.
What happens when a private company becomes more powerful than a government? That's not a hypothetical anymore. In a tense Senate exchange, lawmakers questioned whether companies like Google and even emerging artificial intelligence now hold more influence over speech than entire states. And here's the twist: the Constitution may not protect you from them.
If I try to pass a statute that says, hey, Google is more powerful than just about any state and most countries, the Google's going to quickly file suit and say, under the Constitution, you can't regulate me like that.
And as an originalist, as a textualist, to look at that, I don't think that would have been the founder's intent to apply it to that. There may be other avenues, whether the Commerce Clause or things like that, to incorporate different types of regulation, but I don't think that would be the way it should be.
You think, I'm going to hush in a second, Mr. Chairman. I mean, I get the originalist argument and the textualist argument, but this is really not a suggestion, it's a question. Is this one of those situations where the founders never contemplated that we would have artificial intelligence or a Google? Are we making a mistake being a slave to originalism and worshiping at the altar of originalism when we ought to look at the world as it is, not as it was at the time of the founders?
I don't believe so, Senator, in the sense that although I'm confident did not contemplate AI or a Google of some sort, there were large companies back then, there were conglomerates back then, there were large, powerful industries back then.
Okay. All right, I could go on, but I think Chairman Grassley's going to probably move my office to Richmond if I keep going. Thank you, gentlemen.
For a more profound political discourse, please like, comment, and subscribe for more further insights.